Hey everyone, and welcome back. So it is the last Friday of the month. This month obviously being April, which means we have the Arrow announcements for July. Think about it for a second. But yeah, we're up to July, and we have 6 different titles. A couple of them UK only, but the rest are for all of us, UK, Canada, and the UK as well. So without further ado, let's just dive right into it. So the first one, I'm going to do the Blu-rays first, and then I'll get to the 4K releases. So first up is a Blu-ray release of the movie Crumb Catcher, and I do have to say that one pretty specifically. So this is going to be a US, Canada, and UK title. Retails for $39.99. Again, it's a Blu-ray. More of a recent film from 2023, right? 2023, with a couple of extras, including a commentary track with the writer-director Chris Scotch-DePole. Catching Crumbs, the making of Crumb Catcher, 38-minute behind-the-scenes interviews with the film's cast and crew. The Egg and the Hatchet from 2016, a short film by the director. Camp Out from 2010, another short film by the director, as well as the original theatrical trailer. And then the other Blu-ray only release, now this one is US and UK only. Doesn't say anything about Canada, so just a heads up on that. It must mean that if you're in Canada, you may have to import it. But it is the movie it's the Night Watch collection, retailing for $39.99. Due out July 22nd. I'm moving too fast here. So Crumb Catcher is due out July 15th. The Night Watch collection is due out July 22nd. So this actually has 2 films in it. So it's a 2-disc set. Disc 1 has the original Night Watch film, and then disc 2 has Night Watch Demons Are Forever. So the original film is from 1994, and then the second one is from, actually more recent, from 2023. I know we've had a couple films called Night Watch. This is the original Danish version. It's like an English remake. And then there's a Russian film. Wasn't that Night Watch? I think that was Night Watch. Using the same name, but has nothing to do with this one. So we'll be in stereo and 5.1 for both the original film and the sequel, as well as the English subtitles, because I believe these are both in Danish, if I'm not mistaken. Or are they in English? Doesn't say anything here. Maybe it is English. I don't know. Do you guys know? I don't know. Anyway, moving on. So for the first disc with the original Night Watch, does have a commentary track with writer-director Ole Bornedal. Also, Not Afraid of the Darkness, a newly interview with the director of photography Dan Lautsen. Death in Denmark, an appreciation of Night Watch and the sequel by film critic and Nordic noir specialist Barry Forshaw. A Night Watch making of documentaries was the trailer, and then disc 2, the other Blu-ray, which has the sequel on it. Night Watch Demons Are Forever, has How the Night Watch Films Explore the Horrors of Adulthood, a brand new video essay by film critic Heather Wixson, and The Life and Death on Mars, Public and Private Life in the Night Watch Universe, a brand new video essay by film critic Alexandra Heller-Nicholas, as well as the trailer. I've only seen the first one, and it was many years ago, actually, so yeah, it's definitely been a while. So the remaining titles are going to be 4K releases. These first 2, which I'll cover next, are UK only, so just a heads up on that. So first up, coming to 4K, and I believe there is a separate Blu-ray release of this, isn't it? Yes. So this is going to be 4K and a separate Blu-ray release of the movie Narc. Retailing for £29.99, at least for the 4K version. And this is basically a due out July 7th. Slow down just a bit. So this is a re-release of the one that the Arrow actually put out here in the States in fact, almost a year ago, I think. Wasn't it? I think so. So now you're getting it in the UK. And as far as going over the extras, it looks like it's literally the exact same thing. It's 2-disc set, 4K disc with a movie commentary track, and disc 2 has which is a Blu-ray set in the 4K, Blu-ray disc in the 4K set, which has all the other extra interviews and things like in the trailer and all that. And then the Blu-ray set, obviously, same thing. It just has both Blu-rays, so, but yeah, so that is, again, July 7th. And then the next one, which is UK only, definitely a big one, is coming July 28th, retailing for £34.99, is indeed a 4K release of Lucio Fulci's Zombie, but in the UK, of course, it is known as Zombie Flesh Eaters. Long overdue for a 4K release in the UK. Obviously, we got it here a few years ago from Blue Underground here in the States. And as far as I know, so I'm looking over the extras. I believe most of these are ported over from the previous Arrow release, but I did see some new stuff. Hold on one second. Where's the new stuff? There it is. So it's got a new commentary track by critics Eugenio Ercolani, Troy Howarth, and Nathaniel Thompson, as well as Sound of Fury. Listening to Zombie Flesh Eaters, a brand new visual essay by author and critic Alexandra Heller Nicholas. Repellent, Memories of Zombie Flesh Eaters, a brand new visual essay by author and critic Chris Alexander. And then it looks like all the extras are indeed ported over. Obviously, now some of these releases do have different extras. Some of them are crossover, and then like I think the Blu-ray release has Blue Underground release has a couple of stuff that is exclusive to there. This one obviously has stuff exclusive to this one. Now, as far as I can tell, I believe the restoration itself, is the exact same restoration. It doesn't say anything about it being a new restoration or that it was done by Arrow. So I'm assuming, honestly, I think it's the same one that Blue Underground did. I think they're using the same master, and even the audio options appear to be the same. Obviously, it'll be in English and Italian, and it'll be in mono for both, as well as a remix Italian 7.1 audio mix and an English Dolby Atmos mix, which again, if I remember correctly, all those were on the Blue Underground release. But the nice thing about it is, again, you can get it in the UK, and for those of you who are huge fans of the film like I am, probably pick it up as well. I'm kind of holding off just a little bit, but honestly, I'm not gonna lie, it's tempting. It's tempting because this was definitely a very big film for me, as far as introducing me, very young me, to Italian horror films. And I also want to mention that there is an Arrow Store exclusive, which it's the same release, but on the outer cover it does feature the original UK poster artwork, which is very, very cool. And again, that is an Arrow Store exclusive. And then the last two are US, Canada, and UK, so we can all get these, luckily. First up is retailing for $49.99, due out July 22nd, before I forget, is a 4K release of Larry Cohen's The Stuff, which I am so excited it's actually coming out in 4K. I absolutely love anything Larry Cohen, I love. So it's going to be a 2-disc set. It is going to have, which is interesting, 4K disc, obviously, and then an included Blu-ray. So, as far as I can, so all right, let's just kind of jump into this, because obviously they already put out a Blu-ray several years ago of this, and I believe it ports over all of the extras. I think there's a couple new things here. Well, for sure, it's got a new 4K restoration that Arrow did from the original negative. Will be in Dolby Vision and does have the original mono soundtrack. Now, it does have a, let's see, okay, so one of these is new, and I think the other one is new but not, so let me just get right to it. So first up, it does have a new commentary track with writers and critics David Flint and Adrian Smith, as well as an archival commentary track with Larry Cohen, which is very cool. I'm glad that is on here. And it does port over some pre-existing stuff, including Can't Get Enough of the Stuff, a making of the film. Now this is the one that's kind of new but kind of not. Enough is Never Enough, a newly edited featurette featuring previous unseen interviews with Larry Cohen and producer Paul Kurta, originally shot for the 2017 documentary King Cohen. And then 42nd Street Memories, the Rise and Fall of America's Most Notorious Street, feature-length documentary on the infamous 42nd Street in New York City from way back when, plus trailers and TV spots, the King Cohen trailer, as well as an image gallery in the King Cohen documentary. By the way, I highly, highly recommend. An absolutely fantastic documentary. And then disc 2, and this is very, very cool. It's a Blu-ray release of the pre-release version. So it's an early pre-release cut of the film featuring over 30 minutes of additional footage and a different music score exclusively remastered by Arrow Films, be in HD and in mono. And I didn't even know something like that existed. So actually that is very, very cool. I can't wait to see that. I mean, obviously resources for the longer cut are limited. That's why it's not 4K, just the theatrical cut is 4K. But more Larry Cohen in 4K, which luckily we have a couple of his films out, and because there's a couple coming out for some of his blaxploitation films. And now this one, and there's a lot more. There's a lot more from Larry Cohen I definitely want in 4K. And now we get to the last Arrow title for July, and this is definitely another sort of big studio one that they're putting out, but one I'm very, very happy, especially since I believe it is from the Canon library, if I'm not mistaken. I think, isn't it? Or is it just Warner Brothers? Or maybe it's just Warner Brothers. Anyway, whatever. Coming July 22nd, retailing for $49.99. Again, US, Canada, and UK is indeed a 4K release of Cobra, the film starring Sylvester Stallone, which is cool because like some of these, kind of studio, like Demolition Man, which they did earlier, that's kind of getting these new releases by Arrow. I'm so excited about. So I'm glad they're doing Cobra. Hopefully a lot more are coming. So it's got a new 4K restoration of the film from the original camera negative by Arrow Films. It'll be in Dolby Vision and have a 2.0 stereo track, a 4.0 track, as well as 5.1 audio options. And it's got a couple of extras, some of them ported over from older releases and a couple new ones. So let's start with the commentary tracks. It's got a new commentary track with film critics Kim Newman and Nick DeSemlin. I hope I pronounced that okay. Also a new commentary track by film scholars Josh Nelson and Martin Pedler. And then ports over an archival commentary track with director George P. Cosmatos from 1998, as well as, this is interesting, TV version of the film featuring deleted and alternate scenes presented for the first time on home video. Will be in standard definition only because obviously it's, but anyway, it's funny that that's on here. Be interesting to see some of the dubs that they did for certain words. And we get to a couple interviews, including Slashing the Night Away, a brand new interview with composer Sylvester LeVay. Dark Glasses, Violence, and Robots, a new visual essay by film critic Abby Bender. White Line Nightmare, a new visual essay by film critic Martin Conterio. Stalking and Slashing, archive interview with actor Brian Thompson. Meet the Disease, an archive interview with actor Marco Rodriguez. Feel the Heat, an archive interview with actor Andrew Robinson. Double Cross, an archive interview with actor Lee Garlington. A Work of Art, an archive interview with actor Art LaFleur. The Making of Cobra, a 1986 featurette, trailers and TV spots, as well as an image gallery. So yeah, this is definitely a day one purchase for me. Now there is not a separate Blu-ray release because I believe the rights for the Blu-ray are kind of scattered about. I know here in the States anyway, Scream Factory put out Cobra on Blu-ray. So they probably still have the rights, at least here in the States. That's why Arrow can put out the 4K of it. I know that also happens like for like some Kino titles as well, where they can only put out one version versus the other. But indeed, one I'm very excited to get. So that's it for the July titles from Arrow. Which, gosh, we're okay. So what are we at? So going to be August, let's see, September, October. So July is October titles. Well, even September, like September, October. I'm really interested to see what they do this year for those 2 months. But we're still a couple months away from those announcements. So we'll just take each month at a time. So again, that's it for the Arrow titles. And just a very quick update on my end. So I'm dealing with some personal stuff right now. It's nothing too serious, so I don't want nothing to worry about, but it's stuff that I do have to deal with. It does take up a lot of my time. My schedule for everything keeps changing almost day to day. Now I will say, and this kind of sucks, a week ago I actually recorded a pickups video, and it was pretty massive pickups video. And when I went to edit it, some of the clips weren't, the audio was completely messed up. Now, I think one or two of them I was able to correct. The other ones I couldn't. I don't know what happened. I don't know if the conversion from the original camera file to the clips that I can use in Adobe Premiere, which is what I use, or if it's the SD card that I was using. It was an older SD card, so I don't know. I'm hoping I can at least salvage some of it, but just as a heads up, I did intend to put out a video a week ago, and oh man, that was kind of devastating. I spent way too much time trying to fix it, but hopefully I can save some of it. And actually there are a couple things that I did cover in the video, but you know what, I'm gonna just make separate videos for them, because even though those will be very, very short, I think they deserve their own video. So just a little heads up on that, in case unfortunately I do disappear a little bit longer than I intend to. Just a few things going on that are a bit out of my control. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. July titles from Arrow. So definitely let me know your thoughts on all of these. And as always, thank you for watching, and I will see you on the next one.